I have some excellent technicals to share with you in this video. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. And do you know what you get when you cross a pig with an evergreen tree? You get a porcupine. All right, we got a whole bunch to cover in this video. SPY, QQQ. I'm going to toss in IWM because there's a pretty crazy connection that we also need to see for talking about the direction of the Russell 2000 stocks. And I think that you're going to find that very interesting. Also, an update on Bitcoin in a pretty important chart to look at there as well. I'm also going to give updates on Enphase. Tesla's got something pretty incredible happening too. And of course, Nvidia with their earnings coming up. There's a whole lot in this video, so let's get right into the charts. So what we got for SPY so far, we are outside this rising wedge pattern right now. And so far, we're doing all right. And with the RSI right now, we don't have any sort of confirmation that we're going to pull back from that. We are a little bit down in the pre-market hours. I think it's going to take a significant trigger to pull that down, though, from where it's at right now. I think that really something would have to happen macroeconomically in order for us to really start falling from this. And so let's move on from there into the Qs. And much the same here, except for we do have NVIDIA earnings coming up. Maybe that signals the top. Maybe it tells us that the rally is going to keep on going a little while longer. We're going to have to see what exactly we get from NVIDIA in the after hours today. I do believe that it's going to be strongly positive for the company. And I think their outlook is still going to be pretty good. And so we'll get to NVIDIA themselves in just a moment. I want to get to IWM first. So you can see here on the daily chart for IWM that we are getting near a double peak. So what exactly is going to happen? Not really sure, but something that I do want to show you is if we bring up the 10-year Treasury yield, and we'll pop that up there and compare the two of them. And so on the orange wavy squiggly line that you see on here, that's what we see for the performance of the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield against what we have for the Russell 2000 stocks. And you can see that they do move inversely of one another. Check out what we have right here. Going all the way throughout the month of 2023 with the yield spike that we have. Russell 2000 gets pushed down massively. There's another spike, pushed down to the 10-year yield, and then that just keeps on happening. More recently, we find ourselves here again as that 10-year yield spikes, that we had the price drop, and now we have the price rising as that yield is dropping. So the two are acting inversely of one another. Where are we at right now with the 10-year chart? Well, you can see that we have right here a bearish flag pattern that started playing out for us, and then we sort of recovered on that for a little bit, and right now it's actually looking like we might cross back to bullish for the 10-year Treasury yield, and I think that's really noteworthy to watch out for. Let me reset the view so we can see a little bit better. We do want to return back down to this trend line, and if we turn back around, if we end up returning back here for the Treasury yield, that could be something that's positive for those Russell 2000 stocks, and we could really see them have their moment in the market really start to come into fruition. So I think the decider, if we see a double top, and if we fall from there, is going to be really decided by what we get from the Treasury yields. So keep this on your list along with the IWM, which tracks the Russell 2000 stocks. So over to Bitcoin, inverse head and shoulders, we got it to play out. Also, this little bull flag that we had here got it to play out. The critical line here still across the top. We need to actually stay up above 70,000 right now. We're kind of clinging to it. We have some low bottom wicks here showing that we have that bullish pressure coming in. If we drop down from the from the daily chart to the hourly chart, you can actually see that the last time that we came down to the 50 EMA, that we quickly recovered from that. And then you can see the next time that we crossed it, that we quickly recovered back up above it. And so we have sort of a double bottom happening here. The momentum on the hourly chart is still bullish, but we do need it to pop up there. We just ticked that back down a little bit. We don't want to lose these two hourly moving averages that we have here. The top one in blue is that 50 period moving average, the simple moving average, and then this is the exponential moving average, and we're going to stay above those things to see if we get more bullish behavior coming out of that. So that's the hourly chart. I think the hourly chart is one of the more telling for the near term. Importantly, that there could be further bullishness. If we return back up to this trend line and get rejected, we could have a significant sell-off from there. However, if we return to this trend line and actually smash through it this time and not just a little peekaboo like we got last time, I think that that is the moment that we could take on the all-time high for Bitcoin. So be on the lookout for that. I think there's a really good chance that we actually get that sometime in the near future. As a matter of fact, something I want to show you real quick before we move on from Bitcoin is right across here, that we're sort of straight across for that, meaning that the bears are holding a strong line. However, the bulls, if you look more recently over the past several hours, the bulls are putting that upward pressure on. It is possible that we do crack up above that before you even see this video. So be on the lookout for Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. Over to Enphase. When we look at Enphase, We are testing out this bottom trend line support right here. You can see the arrow that I have indicating that that is a critical thing to look for. Should we break down below that, the RSI on the daily chart switching to bearish on us, and that's not great for the call option that I have. Now, mind you, it's a risky play in general, especially because we have all this mixture in here. We need to see what side, if we're going to reject it or if we're going to strongly push back up above that. A bounce off of support now could be very bullish for end phase, and so cutting that a little bit too soon I think would be something like selling at the bottom. And however, if we break down below this trend line, then really the ultimate support comes in around 105 or 106, and would be watchful for that. That breaking through that could really be a significant sell, where that could take us down into the 70 to 80 range. So First Solar, by the way, there we go. Had a really nice day yesterday. I think I talked about this in my video that I put out on YouTube, and we ended up breaking that top trend line. So that break through the top trend line means that there could be further bullishness for First Solar. I figured that it was very much worth talking about. It did put us into overbought territory, but on good volume, we could see a little bit more momentum coming out of that. We're going to have to watch and see. All right, so Tesla yesterday, excellent move up on the daily chart into bullish territory, still above the 50. Bullish above the 50 EMA, also bullish, about to get a 13 and 50 cross for the EMAs, also a bullish sign. So in the pre-market hours, we are pulling back a little bit. We're down below the 200-day, which is a bearish thing. So that's something to consider, that these pops could be quick and momentary before pulling back again, being as though we're down below the 200. If we move out to the weekly chart, we are just trying out 50 as per the RSI. So let me expand this for you so you can see that better. We're just shy of crossing 50. If we can get a crossover that on the weekly chart, that is something that could show further bullishness for Tesla. And then it's a matter of, and by the way, we have the 13 and the 5 and the 13 nearly crossing each other. So possibly we see that sort of reversal come back in. We're going to have to watch and see for Tesla if we get that in the near term. But like I said, the weekly chart, that longer term trend, if we get over 50 on that, and if we get the 5 and the 13 crossing here, like I said, that could be further bullishness. We could see that $200 price tag coming out of Tesla if we can keep the momentum driving upward. Over to Nvidia, earnings day today. My stock price prediction of $1,000. We'll see if it happens during the market today or if it happens in the after hours. If not, I'm just wrong on this. If so, then this is something that really does validate that 4-digit price tag that we have on Nvidia. And so we could see a sell in the near term. Now, unlike Tesla, we are up above the 50 EMA, SMA, and the 200 days. So lots of bullishness for Nvidia, and this is going to be hugely important for the market. This is going to be very telling on what the market is going to do, at least as far as the NASDAQ 100 is concerned, that if we get some of that AI momentum starting to take the wind out of its sails, that's something that we really have to watch out for, because that could take the wind out of the sails for the market, kill off some of the momentum that we see, and then we possibly do fall from those rising wedge formations on SPY and QQQ. It'd probably also affect the Russell 2000 stocks in the meantime, and then that could also set up an opportunity for those smaller caps to have their moment. We're going to have to watch and see. Now, mind you, I think that all three, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Russell 2000 might move together at first, but then we would start to see, I think, maybe a broadening out as a further search for value takes place, and that's if there's any sort of demand issue or growth issue with Nvidia. Now, mind you, I think that that Amazon's news, I think, is going to be something that we'll hear a little bit of, and I do think that if we do drop for Nvidia, that it could set up that next significant buying opportunity that we find, as people have been waiting for a time to get into Nvidia, really looking for that value to get in there. And the upside on this, I think, might be partially limited right now. Then we drop back down here. I said that we wouldn't stay here very long, and we didn't. So now we're going to have to watch and see what happens during their earnings. I do think that this is a 4-figure stock. Over the next year, I think that will strongly be above 1,000. We're going to have to watch and see as the market plays out, as Nvidia plays out, and what their earnings hold. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. If you want to hear more of my commentary, see my buys and sells and how I'm playing this market, you can find that link for the Patreon down in the description. Click sign up and join us over in the Discord, where I talk with the other community members as well, and also share other technicals that I have in a channel over there called Technicals on Watch for the stocks that I'm watching right now. Also down in the description, you'll find a link for a technical analysis trading course. If you don't want to take your trading game to the next level, please find that link, click it, sign up, and I think that you really enjoy the easily digestible content that's over there as well. Tons of value, including the Stockmo bread recipe, which has been proven to be successful, even though there's never any guarantee of profit. It's one that time after time after time just keeps on working. As always, guys, I really do appreciate your time. Thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.